All right, Miami Dolphins, 10-6 season, out of nowhere. Great win against the Steelers in Week 6. Inexplicable loss in Week 13 to the Ravens. If you saw the Ravens at any point in the second half of the season, Marty Morningwig was the coordinator. They should not have lost this game by 32 points, but they did. I can't explain it. Anyway, Jay Ajayi, MVP, obviously, came out of nowhere. Wasn't even active to start the season.
Didn't even make the trip to Seattle.
He was punished. Basically his coach hated him in Week 1.
I thought he was going to get cut, frankly.
Yeah, I dropped him in fantasy. That's where I was.
A lot of people did.
Yeah. And so, look, he is basically a top 5 running back in the NFL, and he got them to the playoffs right now. I'm as stunned as anybody. So let's go through the scenarios here.
You're streaking. We're going up through the quad to the gymnasium.
Okay, you saw Matt Moore there. That's actually live footage from Matt Moore. If that's going to happen, if Matt Moore is going to be running through town, it is a little cold if we've seen that scene. Danny Kelly, why is it going to happen?
Well, I mean, it's what we talked about just now. It's Jay Ajayi.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the foundation of that offense right now. He's one of the top guys in terms of yards after contact. He makes a lot of offense just on his own. And, they did a good job of, that offensive line kind of gelled halfway through the year, and that's kind of a big part of why he did so well. But I think if they're going to do anything in these playoffs, it's because Jay Ajayi is going to go off.
I think they have a ton of playmakers on offense, like an underrated stable of guys. Jay Ajayi's had a great season, obviously, but their receivers, it just seems like all those guys can make a play.
Yeah.
Devontae Parker is absurdly athletic. I'm a big Jarvis Landry guy, have been for a while. And Kenny Stills has had a pretty resurgent season. So when those are your 3 guys that you're throwing the ball to, plus you can hand the ball off to Jay Ajayi, that's how you mitigate Matt Moore being your quarterback.
Jay Ajayi does go for 150 yards. Jarvis Landry does turn a short gain into 70 yards. That's where they can beat the Steelers. Okay, if they're not going to go streaking, okay. Things are getting dire for Matt Moore. Why, if they're not going to go streaking, why is that going to happen, Robert Mays?
Oh, I think we just saw it. I mean, if Matt Moore is going to lie shirtless on a raft, it feels like he's going to have a hard time playing quarterback. And at this point, he kind of is. I mean, they were a boom and bust offense that wasn't necessarily this monster with Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
Now you bring a backup quarterback in there. There's just way too much variety with what we can get from them. I just don't think they're nearly consistent enough. And I don't think they have the defense to really carry them on the other side of the ball if that offense isn't clicking.
Let me be clear on this, because if Ryan Tannehill were starting this game, my point would be Ryan Tannehill is their quarterback. And now all of a sudden we have a situation where someone who is not as good as Ryan Tannehill is their quarterback. So
It's a matter of degree at this point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
When we get to the end of the road, what's it going to look like for the Miami Dolphins, Danny Kelly?
I got them losing in their first game.
Yeah.
I think they're going to lose to the Steelers this coming weekend, and that'll be that.
Big?
I mean, I don't think it's going to be like a major blowout, but I don't think it's. I don't see it's going to be. I don't think it's.
They
going to be
did
like a
beat
real
this team
close game.
30-15 in Week 6.
That's true, but I mean, I don't know.
On the other hand, they suck. Robert Mays.
Exactly.
I feel the same way. I think that their offense, Steelers' offense, is good enough to put up points on that Miami team, and I think the Steelers' defense is much better than the group we saw the previous time these two teams played.
Yeah, I agree. Jay Ajayi is not going to be able to run on them like he was in Week 6. And beyond that, the Dolphins just don't have the horses on defense to keep up with such a deep Pittsburgh offense.
Yeah.
And I think it's, Bell is going to be able to run. Brown's going to be able to catch on slants. What, Tony Lippett? I mean, Byron Maxwell, he's not even healthy right now.
Right.
I mean, I just don't see any scenario in which they can keep up with the Steelers.